What? The food?
Well, buckle up.
Back in the old time machine.
13th century. Texture, taste.
Very fishy.
Preservatives.
Cornish pasties.
Oh my god, I've never even thought of that. The themes of empire, mission, inheritance, and destiny.
Hello and welcome back to What the Food, the podcast that uncovers the history of the world through food. My name is Miles Dickinson and I'm your host along with Andy Cantor and Dom Gray, and welcome to Feasts Before the Fall, the grand dining experience on the Hindenburg.
Wow.
Hindenburg. Luxury, elegance, and a ticking time bomb. Welcome aboard.
Choo choo? Does it do a choo? No, it's not really.
No.
It's more like a...
It's not a crane.
No, it's more like a... like a dull hum.
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah.
Hidden skills of Milo. He's got the perfect dull hum.
So yeah, the Hindenburg. Do you boys know anything about airships?
Just a
Zeppelins?
fiery mess is all I know about it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I just know
That's it.
there's at some point an explosion and that's it.
Isn't it hydrogen or something in the
That's a
top?
big
It's
thing.
not helium, is it? Because
No,
helium's the one
not.
that gives you the funny voice, doesn't it?
Everyone on board's got a dead squeaky voice.
We're going down! Save our souls!
No. So today we're not just talking about the fiery end of the Hindenburg. We're stepping into its grand dining room, where passengers feasted on multi-course meals served with sky-high sophistication. We'll explore how a young chef managed to cook gourmet feasts in a flying steel frame, why each passenger was given just a single napkin for a 3-day trip, and how a ship filled with hydrogen.
Ryanair. We thought we were bad with Ryanair.
Yeah, just a single napkin.
Don't lose it.
I've remortgaged my fucking house to get on this flight. I want at least 2 napkins.
Yeah, no, just one for the 3 days. And we'll be exploring how a ship filled with hydrogen somehow had a smoking lounge.
Oh, God. That can't be right. Come on, you've got to draw the line somewhere.
It's asking to happen, isn't it?
I know. And of course, we're going to be walking through the final moments of the fateful flight of the Hindenburg, what the passengers were eating, where they were sitting, who survived, and some live reaction to the explosion.
That's it.
Yeah. And we're going to cut live to the disaster right now. Greg's on bar!
Yeah, we've just got 15 minutes of original audio. We're going to play it in its entirety.
My daughter! She's burning!
Anyway, that was lovely, guys, wasn't it? Right. So, Andy, tell us, what was the entree?
Yeah, join us next week for the history of chocolate.
It's sweet and it's sticky.
I mean, in film theory, there's this thing with Alfred Hitchcock. There's like an analogy that people talk about, and it's like he sets up a story where you've got 2 people talking at a dining table and you've got a bomb underneath, and he shows you the bomb underneath at the start. And then the rest of the short film, you've got 2 people talking across a table knowing that there's this like ticking time bomb under the table. I feel like this is exactly that. Like, we're going to talk about all the food and all the fancifulness of this, but we know it ends in a massive explosion tragedy.
But this might be a spoiler / I might be wrong, but I thought not many people actually died in it and it just looked quite bad.
A good amount survived.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
There was a few
daughters
tragedies. Yeah, there is a few daughters burnt, and we'll go into some of those tragic stories. But yeah, like statistically, a good amount survived.
But it looked fucking bad, didn't
It looks like, horrendous, mate. Yeah.
If you look at it, on the face of it, it does sort of look like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Well, it looks bad enough that people were like, we're never doing this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It literally stopped airship travel.
Yeah.
From that moment.
Yeah, from that moment,
Yeah.
it never, well, actually the day after. But the day after, nothing ever happened again in terms of Zeppelins and air travel.
Yeah.
So picture this. You're seated, plush dining room, linen napkin, single one that you've got, on your lap, gazing through
I
massive...
don't want to lose it.
You can't get it dirty.
I'm not putting it on my lap. Like, that could fall on the floor. That happens all the time.
Imagine day one, right? First meal, I don't know, you're having like carrot and coriander soup. You dish it all over your napkin. You've got this orange stained napkin.
Yeah, day 3, those napkins be stankin'.
Yeah, they're going to be stinky, aren't they?
Are we going to cover the cost of how much it was to get on this?
We certainly are. Yeah.
Because that'll just really nail home how outrageous this one napkin rule is.
Yeah, no, it will.
It's a sickener.
So you sat in this plush dining room, gazing through massive slanted windows as the rooftops of Europe drift below you. There's a soft clink of fine china, the low hum of a diesel engine.
Go on, Milo. Keep that
Gentle.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we've got cylinder misfiring. I'll just go back there. I'm the mechanic.
What kind of height was this flying at? It's not as the same height as aeroplanes would be, is it? It's a lot lower than that.
700 feet above the ground.
So you're actually getting
well
like an
low.
amazing view of where
Amazing view.
travelling
This-
over.
It's like one of the kind of shining stars of actually air travel is the fact that you get this amazing view through the cities of Europe and through wherever you're traveling.
That is cool, isn't it? Yeah, you'd be able to see people. It's floating very kind of like, it's not very fast, is it? It's not as fast as like a jet engine. So things are quite stable.
Mental.
Yeah, right.
A balloon.
But, you know, it's very stable. You're kind of drifting aimlessly through the sky. It's very relaxing. And then you've got these amazing 360 panoramic views of wherever you're traveling over. Awesome.
It's really cool. So you're gently gliding through the clouds. There's no turbulence ever because you're not kind of that high up and you're not going that quick. But yeah, no turbulence, no plastic trays, no rushed cabin service, quiet elegance, 700 feet above the ground.
Wow.
So in the 1930s, the Hindenburg wasn't just an airship. It was a floating propaganda machine. Obviously, something going on in Germany in the 1930s.
Yeah,
Rise
some
of-
brewing.
Yeah, some brewing. But the Hindenburg was a mobile restaurant that could kind of whisk you across the Atlantic in just 3 days. It promised adventure, luxury, just a little hint of danger because of that 7 million cubic feet of highly flammable hydrogen.
That's chilling overhead.
Yeah. Maturing.
They're just ominously waiting.
Yeah. For the wealthy elite, it was the epitome of stylish travel. A chance to enjoy refined German cuisine high above the earth. I managed to find a really cool quote from a lady called Edith Deichmann. This is what she had to say about her experience on board.
If you experienced it, it felt like being in a dream, like a flying first-class hotel, a 5-star hotel. Everyone on board felt the same way.
She definitely wasn't on that final journey, was she?
No, it doesn't sound like it.
No, she was on Journey Uno,
Yeah.
the grand unveiling.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Wow. But she likes it. She's a fan.
She likes it. And each trip on the Hindenburg was a carefully kind of orchestrated blend of German pride, French culinary techniques, and kind of high society mingling.
Oh, we know all about those French culinary techniques, don't we? After
do.
last week, if you haven't tuned in, tune in for that.
Plug it
Getting
now.
back.
Plug it.
Get out of this episode. I know that you were just getting stuck in. Forget about that.
This is
Go
shite
back.
compared to that.
Yeah, this is shit. Let me tell you now. This one, shit. That one was pretty good. Go and have a go on that first, then come back to this.
So yeah, go grab a glass, sit back, and let's enjoy the journey of the Hindenburg. So we're going to go back to 1937. It wasn't just an airship. It was a statement, the Hindenburg. It was 804 feet long. It was the largest rigid airship ever built.
Wow.
To put that into perspective, that is longer than 3 Boeing 747s nose to tail.
Oh my
Pretty
God.
big. That is pretty big.
Yeah.
And it's such like a unit, isn't it? It's not just long, but it's also high as well.
Girthy.
It's just
Girthy
one big
is what you're looking for,
thing
mate.
in the sky. Girthy. It is.
Yeah, it's got
Girthy.
It's some
got
proper
good
German
girth
girth
to it.
But like when you were saying, you know, kind of about it being a little bit propagandary, I guess that big imposing figure in the sky that's kind of like humming ominously overhead. For the people sat in there, it's quiet and luxury. But for everyone else around, it's kind of like a bit imperialistic. isn't it?
Fascist big brother watching from above, man.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? Like a bit surveillance style.
but yeah.
Like you can hear it, you can see it, it's there.
But your Adolf loved it.
Yeah, he did. I think so we still have airships and blimps today, right? But the only use for them is advertising.
Yeah.
Like, what's it called? The one in America is Goodwill blimp. Goodwill?
Oh yeah, like
something
over like
like that.
NASCAR things.
Yeah,
I think there is like some company in Europe that's trying to make new ones, but catches your eye. For sure.
You got hot air balloons as well, but I would just never do a hot air balloon.
Nah,
Sorry.
dead shit.
I'm just not about that. I understand like the romantic thing, and it's like all kind of peaceful, but I just don't want to put my life in the hands of air in a balloon. Just
Don't feel like
Yeah.
I want to
I'd go on
I
a hot
just-
air balloon if it went as quick as a 747.
That's crazy. You get well cold.
The basket had wings.
Yeah. A little jet engine. Now, I just find it a bit scary, like hot air balloons, like shooting fire into like plasticky cloth. I feel like if that fire is just slightly misaimed, probably burn your entire balloon that's holding you up.
So the ship itself was named for Germany's President Paul von Hindenburg. That's how it's got its name. And it stood as a towering symbol of engineering prowess and also national pride.
First of its kind, then, is it? There's not been one before this.
No, so there has been, there are other airships in use
Right.
at this time. None as big as the Hindenburg and none as kind of towering as an example of kind of German pride. But like airship travel is like quite common for the wealthy elite at this moment. It's kind of seen as like this new way for transport essentially. Because at the moment, like the primary source of transportation for people going on long journeys was ships.
Yeah,
Obviously, it
because
took
there
a
wasn't like
long
big
time.
planes, was there?
No,
At this point,
exactly.
like, there was planes, but not like big passenger ones.
And they were more
like
more military.
single.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was definitely, unfortunately, the pride of the Nazi regime, and it showed up everywhere. Important, even flying over the 1936 Berlin Olympics. A bit of a political showmanship during the games. Managed to find a nice quote from a lady called Natasha Frost, who was writing for a media outlet called Atlas Obscura, and she puts it quite nicely.
It was an instrument of national prestige. It showed a Germany that had been so completely trampled in the war, World War I, now had the fastest and most luxurious method of transport. Wow.
I think that's a big thing to remember. Like, Germany's hurting kind of after the
Pride's
World
in
War
the
I.
bin, isn't it? Really?
Pride's in the bin. They've had to surrender. They've signed basically all of their kind of military power away, and they're not allowed to do certain things. Cash that they've got to pay to various kind of powers in Europe. They're in the mud. So
Yeah.
They want
It's
something
just-
that kind of shows something off. I'm guessing they've got some kind of leftover World War I technology to put to good use as well at this point. I mean, is that kind of being factored into designing this thing and some of the leftover?
kind of, I just think
Military
the world as a whole is kind of advancing quite quickly
that's
from
true.
this point on.
Yeah.
Well, they say that's what war's good for, isn't it? New technologies.
absolutely
That's when you
nothing,
make your biggest jumps forward. No, don't be singing at me. It's not good for absolutely nothing. When you get your Google Maps out in a minute,
Yeah.
to go wherever you're going to go with the rest of your day, that was because of war. GPS,
Oh, God,
military.
Thank
They
you.
created that so that they could choose where they were going to drop a bomb. And now
Yeah.
you
No,
can
you're
choose where you're going to go and buy
Drop
your
a bomb.
shopping from. Yeah, drop a bomb in a public
Wanna get
toilet. Yeah, but there you have it.
No, we
So,
don't.
yeah.
We don't want war for stuff like that. We'd rather not have maps. Is that right, Dom?
Yes. I want peace in the world.
So the airship's allure wasn't just in its size, but in its promise. You've got a glamorous way to cross the Atlantic in less than half the time of an ocean liner. If you had the money, of course, you had to have the money. Go on. How much do you think a single ticket on the Hindenburg from Frankfurt to New Jersey would cost? 3 days.
1,727 euros.
So
Deutsche
you've gone
marks.
both incorrect.
What were they using back then?
Yeah.
I know, it's still marks,
Jerts.
not Deutschmarks. Jerts.
Jets. The fuck was that? Jets.
Some made up German currency from the 1930s. Jerts.
Jerts.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much. I'm going to say like the equivalent of like 30 grand in today's money, whatever that was back then.
That's a lot of money. No, it was 1,000 Reichsmarks,
Oh, that was fairly
Reichsmarks.
close. We did Deutschmarks.
which would have been around
Deutschmarks.
7,000.
7,000. All right.
Around £7,000 today.
So that's like a first class flight nowadays. If you think about it, it was like BA. I
Kinda.
think if you went for that, I think you're probably knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
this is just one way, but then obviously it is for 3 days and you're getting all your food and some of your drink included.
And you are getting a napkin as well. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, you
That's
do
it.
get a napkin.
Don't forget the napkin.
You don't
Better
get to keep it though.
gold lace.
Give it back.
$7,000 and they only give you one napkin, mate.
It's all dawned on him.
I don't think it was an accident. I think it was an angry, dishevelled customer that set the fucker on fire. I'll show you this napkin.
I guess you'd compare the ticket to like what you'd spend on a luxury train, like an overnight sleeper train, like the
Orient Express.
Orient Express, something like that maybe,
Or a cruise.
or a cruise, yeah. It's a good comparison.
Bruising for a bruising.
No, you're right. But passengers on board included millionaires, journalists, diplomats, and the occasional celebrity, all eager to embrace the airborne experience of elegance. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a transport for the masses. You're not getting Heinrich Billy, who is a chicken farm owner. I mean, maybe it depends on how many chickens he's selling.
Yeah, I was going to say. Chicken's a good business to be in.
Depends if he's got that deal with Kentucky.
Yeah, I was going to say Colonel Sanders would get on there.
But yeah, as we said, it was designed kind of as a prestige showpiece, crafted to convince the world that Germany was back on its feet after the dark days of World War One.
Don't fuck with us.
Don't fuck with us. We have big
Don't fuck
balloon.
with us.
What's the capacity? How many folk are we fitting on it?
70 passengers. Yeah.
Wow.
That's less than I thought.
Yeah, I was hoping for at least 100.
70 passengers, and I did make some notes on the number of staff because there's a good amount of staff. So on the final journey, just to give you an overview on that, so it could hold up to 70, but on the final day there was 36 passengers and 61 crew on board.
Whoa.
DL.
Double the crew than the passengers. So you're getting like good customer service there. You've got at least 2 people per
One
per one.
One napkin, mate.
Well, yeah.
No good
We're always going to get
customer
back to that.
service here.
Yeah. But weirdly, despite all the cost and the kind of high cost of a ticket, the Hindenburg did not turn a profit at all.
Okay.
Wow.
The German government kept it afloat, quite literally, as a symbol
It's
of
subsidies.
national pride and propaganda. Exactly. Lots of subsidies going into it. They treated it essentially as an expensive billboard for the regime.
Wow.
That's interesting. So that £7,000 probably wasn't enough to charge then. If they weren't getting those subsidies from the government, they probably should have been charging a lot more than that.
Definitely. Yeah. But for those on board, it was less about politics and more about pure, unadulterated luxury. You didn't just board the Hindenburg. You embarked on an airborne adventure, wrapped in a steel frame, gliding through the skies. Very cool to think about that kind of form of travel.
Yeah. You go into worlds anew, aren't you? Whilst
You are.
eating amazing food.
You are. Right, let's step on board, shall we? Let's do a bit of a first-person tour, okay? So, we're stepping on board, and we take a wander through the airborne Colossus. Once you've entered, you've gained entry, you've handed over your ticket, you've been met with a curious mix of extravagance and, well, kind of a few certain oddities. It's not just a luxury hotel in the sky. It's a massive floating steel framed filled with hydrogen.
Doesn't sound good.
No. Where every ounce of weight mattered and safety was had to be balanced with kind of like with the splendor of it all. So you're trying to achieve this luxury feel and make people feel like they're having a really amazing time. But the amount of weight that you have to put on safety is extremely high. So the balance is quite difficult.
So that might be a clue to why they've got double the people per passenger as well. It's
Exactly.
like keeping all the health and safety in check.
Yeah, for sure.
Are they having to do like weight distribution as well? Like,
Yeah,
sir,
that's
you
the
are
thing.
big. You go.
You are big.
You are big. You are how they say rotund. Go back. So yeah, like I said, it could hold 70 passengers, and the sleeping arrangements were very hostel-like. They were very utilitarian. They were,
Okay.
despite having obviously the expensive tickets, the passengers bedded down in simple bunk-style cabins.
Okay. So you've not got like big king-size beds and
No.
Opulent
4 bedroom
bedrooms.
beds. No.
that's interesting.
Each kind of bedroom was equipped with 2 bunks and some basic amenities. Luxury, very much short supply.
You only get a bunk bed.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a bunk
The
bed.
king size double bed.
No, you don't.
No, think of it as like you said, Miles, like a sleeper train compartment.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
All the effort's gone into that dining and kind of like entertainment area rather than the sleeping bit.
Yeah, for sure. And within the bedroom compartment, no windows at all.
Wow.
Don't enjoy the views.
No, can't enjoy the views in the bedroom compartment. The bedding was plush though, and the furnishings were smart, and it was very much enough to keep you cozy on your way, but it wasn't splendor and extravagance.
Who cares about this? We're going to be spending most of our time in the main cart having all the food anyway.
Exactly. That's exactly the sort of conversations people will be having. Yeah. So husband and wife have gone on. This is the husband's idea to go on it, obviously. Rope the wife into it. They've entered the bedroom compartment, and then the wife started having to go at him because it looks shit. And that is exactly what he would have said.
Meredith, this is going to be great. You can't eat goose back here, can you? So think about that.
That is not
Think
windows.
about that.
You need windows to eat goose. This is not. You can't eat it here.
You can't eat the goose here, so, don't worry about it. We have a dance, you get tired, you come back here, you sleep, get up, go back for goose.
Yes, beautiful. Always goose. Now, the thing that might have been a bit of a deal breaker, especially for my wife, communal bathrooms. You don't get your
dropping
own
bombs in the sky.
Yeah.
So it's not all
Communal
luxury.
bombs.
We're peeling back the curtain here, and there are some issues with this.
There are. Even the wealthiest of passengers had to shuffle down the hall to the shared lavatories and the shared showered rooms. So you'd leave in the Hindenburg with a verruca. Guaranteed.
100%.
All of Munich has big, smelly pools. You heard it here first.
Now, have they got a septic tank that's collecting all this stuff, or are they just releasing it in the sky?
Just releasing it.
Trundles over.
They're only 700 feet as well, so you can literally see it exit and splatter down on houses.
Everyone, get inside.
When you flush as well, you can see it drop down, little hole open, so you can time it. Go!
Yeah. This is the pre-blitzkrieg. The Schitzkrieg.
The
Schitzkrieg. The Battle of Shidden.
No, I imagine there's a tank collecting that, and they'll probably empty it when they land next.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. There'll be some 12-year-old lad having to empty it.
Probably. It's like a chimney sweep, but
the shit sweep.
Shit sweep.
So yeah, not so luxurious, I feel. Not so great. But then at the same time, in a touch of elegance, or maybe stupidity, like I said in the beginning, you've got a specially designed, pressurized smoking room for people on board. You could actually have a smoke on board of this flying hydrogen bomb.
It's pretty mad, that.
That is what it is, isn't it? It's a bomb.
Yeah.
And then you're letting people smoke, right underneath that.
It's strange. You had to deal, so it was a very organized process. There was a single electric lighter within the pressurized smoking room.
Okay, so it's not a naked flame then. That's good.
No naked flame.
Just a hot bit.
Yep, the lighter had to be, there was a bar in the smoking room as well. And the lighter was held at all times by the barman. There was a single barman in there.
Right, okay.
And passengers were only permitted to light up in this tiny sealed room with a double door airlock.
So when you say it's an electric lighter, is it like one of the ones that you used to get in cars, that kind of thing, where it's
Kinda.
just like a little hot
exactly
thing?
Right.
And you...
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
All right. So there's some kind of procedure in place to protect.
Yeah, but once you've lit the cigarette, there's still fucking embers there, right? So even if you've not got a naked flame off of your lighter, you're kind of making multiples.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a bar, exactly.
And there's a bar, yeah. So let's
that's
supply them with alcohol as well.
That is literally just the 30s and 40s. So everybody smoked.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't go a day, an hour without smoking.
Exactly.
So it had to have a smoking room.
Yeah. They've probably spent so much time and effort to make that possible because just culturally, that's just so important at that time, isn't it? To be able to smoke.
Mm-hmm. No, for
people,
sure.
But if there was no way to smoke on there, people just wouldn't go on it.
No, no, exactly. No. So yeah, cool smoking room. I imagine it was pretty stylish kind of refuge on board that you could kind of relax and watch.
Speakeasy style.
A place had windows, yeah, exactly. And then there was a deck, and this was very much like the crown jewel of the Hindenburg's interior. It was kind of a vast promenade deck with panoramic slanted windows stretching across one side of the ship, and kind of here passengers could stroll, look out over the scenery below, soak in the views that kind of range from the European cities to vast oceans, and occasionally an iceberg or two, depending on which way you were going.
But you'd see so much, wouldn't you? All those different cities you cross in, and then you've got all the cathedrals, and I don't know, I don't know if they did, but they might have had someone quite knowledgeable about these things on board that could maybe do a little tannoid
hop on,
thing.
hop off kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you can see St. Paul's Cathedral. Well, actually, they wouldn't be going over London, would they, at this point? Bit of a security risk. We have a Nazi Zeppelin right above. But yeah, I imagine like they they were able to spot loads of different things in different cities and have a cultural experience whilst on board.
Definitely. These people probably would have experienced viewing points of various cities that no one has ever experienced before or will ever experience again, just because of the unique kind of method of transportation.
Sort of one of its kind, isn't it?
It's very cool.
Mad.
No turbulence, no rattling seats, just a smooth, kind of surreal drift in the sky. Very cool. Finally, our tour brings us to the dining room, which is situated on the air deck. It was designed very much for elegance. It was very different to the bedroom side of things. This was all about opulence. So it measured 47 feet long and 13 feet wide, so decent size, not too bad. It featured lightweight aluminium chairs and tables arranged for kind of comfort and view. Quite minimal in decor, and it was mainly about the room's kind of slanted windows, open up the stunning vistas. That's what you're drawing attention to. There were paintings and portraits and things like that, but they wanted you to be looking out the window. That was the main.
The world is the painting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you had to see.
Right.
And also big picture frames, big wooden frames. It's all weighty stuff, isn't it?
It's going to be heavy. No, for sure. So as you're flying around or flying through the sky around 80 miles per hour, that's kind of the speed at which you're going.
Pleasant spirit.
You'll sit down.
Sweet.
You'll sit down at your dinner table, and you'll find that each seat has been set with fine porcelain, crystal glasses, silver cutlery, very much dining experience fit for the elite. This is that kind of weird thing where it's like you've got the bare bones in certain places, but then for stuff like this, they've gone heavy fine china.
You got to
Crystal
prioritize.
glasses. Yeah,
Got to
exactly.
prioritize.
Maybe China's not heavy, but like crystal glasses are heavy.
Crystal
Silver
glasses
cutlery.
have got some heft to them, haven't they?
Yeah, but it's interesting that they went so far one way with one and so far one way with the other. It's like they could have maybe balanced the two out a little bit. But then, I don't know, that maybe shows the priority of the people at the time. They were quite fine sleeping on these bunk beds, but didn't want to scrimp on their dining experience.
Nazis were well known for not being extremists and going to the extreme of any scales. So that's probably why they did it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is what you said, though. People probably just thought that we're going to be spending a lot of time in the dining room.
Exactly. That's when you're like showing off to the other people around you.
This
So
is
you
it.
want to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm the one seen with just bloody iron cutlery instead of silver cutlery or whatever.
Yeah. I think also it is a cultural thing. Like back then, people weren't terrified of small talk and conversations with folk. Like it was the done thing to commune and mingle.
You're having your downtime in that space as well. You're not like going there for dinner and then going back to your own room for your downtime. Like, you're actually lounging in that space as well.
For sure. No, the dining hall is definitely the center of social life on board. For sure. So we've got the layout in mind. Let's dive into the dining experience where Javier Mayer, the head chef, and his team created feasts for the ship's passengers. So it wasn't sustenance, it was pure theatre.
Nice. Although that would be a great setting for a Bond movie. Imagine he's
Zeppelin.
imagine like he's infiltrated a Nazi Zeppelin.
On the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could be cool.
Could be cool.
James Bond feasting.
Feasting. So, Javier Mayer was the head chef. He was 25 years old. Not very
young.
old. Pretty young. But they start early in this generation. They start work very early.
It should be. Finish year 6, off to mines.
Yeah, getting down in pits.
Get down, Pete, get us some coal.
He trained at the Ritz, so he knows his bits and bobs. But yeah, himself and a small team delivered multi-course feasts that would rival any of the top European restaurants at the time.
Wow.
So Meyer himself understood how to balance kind of the rich German traditions with the more refined touches of French cuisine, which we explored last episode.
Goody versed.
So he married those two together and created a unique experience, which I suppose curryverse and a bit of brie would be a unique experience. Yeah, I've never had it before.
Maybe not nice, but unique.
Unique, that's all that you need.
But imagine just like a sloppy curryverse with just a single slice of brie, just in the middle.
I don't know if that'd be nice, to be honest. I don't think it would. Well, it's interesting. He's bringing traditional German fare, but he's kind of elevating it through French style cooking methods that he's learned elsewhere.
Yeah. Because remember, it has to be German because it's a national pride symbol.
It's all
has
German
to be
made.
German. Exactly. Yeah.
None of that foreign muck.
No.
Just
No.
German engineering. Just
Because
Boiled
German,
white sausages.
German cuisine is quite, it's quite hearty food, isn't it?
It is
Not crazy
probably-
dissimilar to like British cuisine in a way.
Yes, I was about to say it's probably the closest thing to British cuisine in terms of like seemingly lack of flavour.
Spices and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, it's maybe considered at this point quite normal working class food, isn't it? But then you've got this guy kind of elevating it, bringing those flavours.
Oh, I see what you did there, elevating it on the Zeppelin. It's not his first rodeo.
We've not had many puns yet, so here's an idea. The Hindenburger comes out on a fiery sizzle plate.
Sizzle plate.
Explosive flavour, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they wouldn't know that that's going to happen at that point. So yeah,
No,
they call it that. But
bit of a spoiler, maybe. Foreshadowing. Yeah. Obviously, only had electric stoves. Can't have any gas stoves in there.
oh god, I keep forgetting about this. Yeah, everything's got to be considered, hasn't it?
Yep.
Christ.
Super cramped, as you can imagine. It's only a small kitchen where obviously Meyer and his team had to work in kind of careful coordination because the space is so small, right? You can't have people just fucking running over doing every witch job.
Behind.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Bloody hell. So not ideal situation to be cooking elaborate feasts.
No.
70 people as well. It's not a massive amount, but it's not a tiny amount either, is it? That's a big service to get done.
Are they all sitting at the same time though? Where you're staggering the service?
So
Maybe.
so we'll come to a day in the dining, a day of dining in a moment. But there's certain times where breakfast is available, lunch is available. Just to go back to the space side of things though, as well, you've also got the provisions. You've got 2 tons of food per crossing.
Yeah, because they're travelling for quite a while, aren't they? So they need all that food on board. They don't want to waste all that money coming down and restocking and going back up.
No. So there's on an average crossing from like Frankfurt to New Jersey, 2 tons of provisions, 400 pounds of fresh meat, 220 pounds of fish, 800 eggs.
Wow.
Right? It's a lot of food. A lot of food to be
It's a lot of
storing.
food. And I bet all this was documented. It was all listed, weights, grammage.
It is.
I bet it was
That's where
like
I found it.
military.
I was reading German documents, mate. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I bet it was a military undertaking, Milo, yeah. They were warming up for something that they were going to do. Let's blitzkrieg this service. I mean, let's be fast on this service. Fuck.
What? Sorry, didn't mean to say that.
Whoopsie popsy.
Did I say that? But yeah, preparing these multiple meals a day required a strict routine. Dishes had to be assembled with military precision. And obviously, they had to leave the galley looking tasty experience so that they could experience, or the diners could experience, the fine dining cuisine that Meyer and his team were putting on.
I'm closing my eyes right now, just imagine this, and it's feeling lovely. But I'm imagining some like nice.
Lovely.
It's feeling lovely right now. Well worth my 7,000. And
Where's your
I smell
napkin,
goose-
mate?
goose.
Have you lost your napkin, or have you still got your napkin?
I had to wipe my ass with it, so it's.
I don't think that they took that one into account. Is that the smell that I'm getting?
I'm using
I
a
see,
spare
yeah.
t-shirt. No. But as I close my eyes and imagine being in this space and waiting for my food, and I'm hearing some nice like music. Was there a band on board, or were they just playing a CD?
No, that's just in your head.
CD.
Now 48 Blitzkrieg edition.
Non-stop bangers.
Non-stop bangers, explosive tracks. Oh god, need to stop. But
Every song's like 180 BPM just to get people fucking on the meth going. Like,
oh my god. Oh no.
Surely
No, I'm
not.
thinking more like the Titanic, with a band, with a live band that were kind of playing. But cellos are heavy.
Going down as it's burning. It's still playing. Just flames in the background. He's keeping his cool.
Classic versions of techno.
Love that. Love that.
no, there's no band. No. Imagine getting like a grand piano on there. And everyone's got one napkin and they're just staring at this grand piano.
Aluminium rickety chairs.
60 keys. The fuck?
I'm allowed one napkin. a fucking grand piano.
Could we not have gone with like a baby grand and had 2 napkins maybe?
Did we need the harp? Could have done a recorder. Like, what?
Have you heard of the triangle? Much lighter, still gives you those nice little hits on the
Little
drop.
tingles. Oh my god. Yeah. The hypocrisy of the things that were allowed on board versus what weren't. Wow. Sleeping in a bunk bed, but there's a grand piano. Wow.
Daily dining ritual. Let's go for it, shall we?
Yeah,
So you've woken up in your bunk bed. The first thing you're doing, smack your head.
fallen out. Fucking hell.
Bad night's sleep because twat passenger next door snoring.
Yeah. You've headed down to the communal bathroom. Someone's taken an absolute load in there. The toilet's looking like no man's land. Battle of the Somme. It's not looking great.
It's looking like London 1941 Blitz. It's December 6th. You wake up, streets in tatters. That's that toilet bowl. You step out of the fucking underground.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's the feeling as you go in that bathroom. Anyway,
That's
next up.
So after you've navigated that, you want a hearty breakfast, obviously.
Obviously, you've put
Settle
out
the stomach.
fires.
Yeah. So breakfast will be served between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m.
That's a good window.
Good time. Yeah.
Good window.
agreeable.
It's a nice window. Yeah. Passengers could enjoy classic options like eggs, ham, sausages, alongside a selection of fresh rolls, pastries, and fruit preserves. So quite a standard
Agreeable.
hotel breakfast.
It's a continental.
Very continental. Very like imagine a German breakfast on holiday.
It's that,
Or-
innit? Yeah.
It's that, innit? It's like cut meat, cut cheese, bit of
Cheese.
Gouda,
Yeah.
some weird meat that you're not really sure what it is, but you're on an all-inclusive, so you'll
Exactly. You just think,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
I'm not normally one for cured, dried, cold meats first thing in the morning. I don't know.
No,
Never been my thing.
that's the English in you.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're continent too, mate.
That's why we fought the war, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep that at bay.
Yeah.
God. I'd rather
spread
a
it.
rasher of bacon and eggs, some hash browns, and full English basically is what I'm just going That's what I'm on my way to.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's no point breaking it down, right? It is a full English. That's what I'm
beans.
going for. Don't forget my toast.
Don't forget your toast, definitely not. So yeah, breakfast, quite a simple affair. And as breakfast is wrapping up, each passenger would then receive their menu card for the day. So you've just I'm full of Gouda, right? And then someone just
I can't
throws,
even think about eating now.
boom, menu card.
What do you want later?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. Oh, okay. No, actually, yes.
Oh, goose again. Oh.
Goose. Wow. So it's constantly about what you're having. What you're having to eat.
Yeah, this menu held a sneak peek at the lavish luncheons and dinners ahead. The lunch was by far the heartiest meal. That's where you're getting your multi-course affair kind of designed to fill you up for the day's adventures of sitting on an airship.
And staring blankly out of a window.
I was going to say, you're not really going to work up an appetite. Are you?
No.
Because
There's no gym on board.
Yeah,
Well, again,
they're not moving much. Like,
It's no gym holiday. It's literally, no, Miles. Well, weights. Fucking weights.
I've got one napkin and you've got all the weight from 8 kilograms up to 32 kilograms in weights.
Kettlebells and everything.
Kettlebells, yeah, all different ones.
But that does beg the question: when you're not staring out the window or eating food, what else are you doing? I guess talking.
Conversing. Yeah, conversing. Because it's other powerful people, right, that could afford the ticket. So you're building relationships that are hopefully going to improve your business, your political career, your writing career. You're asking famous people, as a journalist on board as well. So they're interviewing people and you're reading.
So Heinz, would you be in on taking Europe or?
Could we?
Yeah, now you mention it. Yeah.
A lot of time to sit around actually and think, guys, it's a good idea, yeah.
I'll help you with that. Yes, no problem at all.
The chef keeps saying something about fucking blitzkrieg. Sounds fucking good.
Let's use that technique. Yeah, I guess people just talked, didn't they, about them?
Yeah.
They didn't need
They just talk, mate. It is worth saying as well that just because it is a German airship, not everyone on board was German. There was Americans, there was Europeans and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, lunch. Lunch was the full-on feast. From rich soups. They love a soup. Every meal had a soup.
And they're quite heavy if you think about
Yeah.
it. Where are they getting the water from?
Septic tank.
They've got a big...
Tank.
We recycle things on board.
It's got a bit of earthy depth to it.
A lot of soups, a lot of roasted meats, and a lot of it was complemented with vegetables, side salads, and a few decadent desserts as well.
Nice.
So lunch is definitely the big feast. Dinner, on the other hand, usually served in kind of early evening, was often a bit lighter, yet still sophisticated. Still kind of continued that air of grandeur, presenting kind of refined dishes with enough variety to keep people intrigued. You know?
You need to save some room for dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fill yourself up too much.
Yeah, just going back to Natasha Frost, she had quite a good description
Good name.
of the food. Yeah, great name, isn't it? Natasha Frost. Oh,
God.
yeah, could be a porn star actually.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. Natasha Frost.
God.
The German temptress.
She'll freeze your bollocks off.
Proper niche little BDSM sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like, oh, your ball's getting cold.
She's the queen of ice play.
Ice play.
Good God. Right. Anyway, carry on. Tell us what did she have to
Right.
say.
What did she say? Where are we now? It might not have been the best food on earth, but it had a legitimate claim to being the finest fare in the sky.
Well, there wasn't much competition, was there? That's a bit like...
Yeah,
Difficult
but she's
to
right.
please, Natasha. You know, not the
Yeah.
best. Bloody hell.
No.
Sorry, Natasha. Where have you been? Don't let me keep you.
Freezing a
Where
dildo.
have you been?
Yeah. Sorry, it's not the Ritz, Natasha.
Natasha. Just proper stretching out every syllable in the name. Natasha. I'm sorry.
Your name doesn't precede you. You are an ice cold bitch. Christ.
So yeah, not the best food, but definitely fine. Definitely fine.
Of note.
Yeah.
Of note.
Of note. So an actual menu, right? So I had a look at some actual dishes. So like I said, it leaned very much into German flavors, but it always had that nod to French style. So I said soups. There's a lot of soups, and a lot of them were cream-based soups because the French love a cream-based soup.
I guess there's not much turbulence, so soup's quite all right on that, you know.
Yeah, perfect, actually.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you
keeping
can't have
level.
a soup on an aeroplane, can you? Like, no.
Fucking hell, this keeps going everywhere.
Yeah, imagine being on a long-haul flight and they put down just a bowl of soup in front of you.
Couldn't be right.
Everyone on board.
So much mess.
So much mess. So a lot of hearty cream-based soups.
Yep.
Schnitzel, obviously.
Nice.
Venison cutlets served in kind of, again, creamy, velvety sauces. Bavarian ducklings. Bavarian ducklings.
Don't say that like it's a normal thing. You were ready to
I was
move
ready
on
to
from
move
that.
on. Yeah.
Oh, every Sunday morning.
Ducklings, Christ.
That can't be
Sounds barbaric.
Well, they can't have fully grown ducks because they're too heavy, so they have to go for the ducklings.
Well, that's it, yeah.
We're not evil, guys. We're not evil. It's just simply
It's a weight issue.
But yeah, Bavarian ducklings with a rich, buttery sauce. Even the vegetables had cream sauces. A lot of cream. Lots of cream.
Rich food.
Rich food. Very rich food.
Dense.
But it's seen as Germany's best, you know? That's why they're going for it.
Nice.
I managed to find another quote from a bloke called Richard Foss, who wrote a book called Food in the Air and Space, The Surprising History of Food and Drink in the Skies, which is quite an interesting niche book to write about.
So niche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pigeonholed
Yeah.
themselves a little there.
But this is what he had to say about the Hindenburg, dining on the Hindenburg.
The emphasis on German cuisine was no accident. While there was a hope that these commercial Zeppelin flights would one day be profitable, they were primarily a way to demonstrate a kind of German cultural strength.
So that again reinforces the fact that it has to be German food. It can have the French techniques and the laissez-faire kind of dining culture and things like that, but it has to be German. Has to be.
We're showing off what the German produce can do.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's the main meals. For dessert, obviously, Black Forest Gatto. Black Forest, it's in Germany. Black Forest.
Every
Makes
night.
sense, doesn't it? Every night.
And it's Black Forest again.
Hey!
Oh, nice.
No, you had luscious fruit tarts that were served, rich pastries, all intended to satisfy the sweet tooth and provide a perfect end to a lavish meal. All the while, you are enjoying a generous supply of German beer and wine, which is free. So the beer and wine is free. But if you wanted a cocktail, that is when you would have to pay. So the cocktails are the only thing that you have to pay for on your journey.
Okay, all right. Bit of an all-inclusive job.
Yeah.
A little, small print.
Small print. Exactly.
Keeps your wallet away.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
The signature drink on board of the Hindenburg was the LZ129 Frosted cocktail. That's like the special dish because
That's a mouthful to order.
that's the technical name of the ship, right? That's the technical name.
is it?
They're not shaking these, like German military connections.
No.
I will order the Panzer Blitzkrieg 249, please. I've had a fuel tonight, so I'm a bit giddy.
I think I'll have the annexation of Poland, 1939, please.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Pretty pathetic, though, this cocktail. Go on, what do you think an LZ129 Frosted would entail? What sort of booze and mixer do you think? There's two ingredients.
Okay.
Hydrogen fire.
Hydrogen and fire. Yeah, just a vodka Coke, I reckon.
Vodka Coke.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Is it like, I'm going to say champagne and something?
It was gin and juice. It was equal parts gin and equal parts orange juice. Despite Mayer's elaborate efforts, not every diner adored the rich, heavy German food.
I was going to say, if you're lactose intolerant, you are fucked on air. There's cream in
Fucked,
everything.
Yeah.
Communal toilet is getting absolutely obliterated on the regs.
Massively.
Back in the day, there was probably so many undiagnosed lactose intolerant. Like they probably didn't even know what that was. And they were just like,
got on with it.
Cream just makes me poo, but I like cream, so I have cream. And there's cream in fucking everything. So it's a lot of poo.
Back when men used to be men, just fucking eat wheat all the time.
But like, maybe this is a little kind of insight into what people considered as fine dining. They thought that cream or sort of heavy, rich food equaled elevated. When
100%.
Nowadays, elevated food isn't necessarily rich. You can get, very light dishes that are elevated.
Definitely.
We're kind of seeing a bit of a insight into that, aren't we?
Definitely. Again, it ties in super nicely with the French culinary episode that we did. It's like we almost planned it, really.
Yeah. Get out of this episode, go back and give that a listen. Because I'm telling you, that one's good. This one's been pretty shit so far, but that one's good. Talk about French culinary stuff. Get in there.
So yeah, not everyone's a fan of this heavy cream-based food. Americans, in particular, found the meals too heavy, which is interesting. You would never really think of Americans finding food too heavy.
No, we just think about them as fat idiots now, don't we? Don't we? No, I'm joking. That was tongue-in-cheek to any of our American listeners.
I think we were horrible to Americans in last episode as well.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
When I was doing the research for this episode, I came across a website by a bloke called Dan Grossman. And Dan Grossman is, from what I can see, the expert on all things airships. An airship aviation expert. He owns the domain airships.net.
Cool.
And on there, he talks about everything to do with airships. Very knowledgeable dude. Loads of cool screenshots of like boarding documents and tickets and stuff like that. Absolute OG on everything airships.
Wow.
Not sure if it'll pay his mortgage. Maybe it will. But he's doing well. And this is what he had to say on kind of the whole German versus American food battle.
The most important thing to remember about food on the Hindenburg was that it was German food. Very, very German food. There was some complaints from primarily American passengers that it was a lot too heavy and specific for their tastes.
I'm not sure if it's just the fact that Americans are just more willing to complain about things. And like a Brit probably felt the same, but was just like,
I won't say anything.
I'll just keep it
too polite.
Yeah, too polite. Exactly.
Whereas an American's like, what on earth is this?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so different to American cuisine, isn't it? Like European food anyway. But then you've got this German only produce kind of attached to it, and it's now even more obscure to the untrained American palate.
Definitely. Luckily though, for those Americans on board, One representative from the company who owned the airship perhaps recognised that maybe cream sauces and venison might not be to everyone's taste. They added a little sentence to the bottom of the menus for people, which just said, "We'd be happy to prepare an omelette for you if nothing on the menu appeals."
Okay, well, they've covered it all there. That's actually,
That is so like badass in a way. It's like, oh, if you want an omelette,
Yeah.
we'll make you an omelette, but that's
We'll make you an omelette. A nice creamy omelette.
Yeah, if you're trying to get away from dairy and
Yeah,
the only
put
other thing they'll
cream in
make
it.
you is an omelette. Creamy omelette with cheese in the middle of it.
creamy, cheesy omelette.
The creamy cheddar sauce on top.
Oh my God. I mean, it doesn't take very long for rich food to get too much. And you're on this thing for 3 days.
Yeah, every meal.
Every meal. That's a lot.
And it's
a
meant
lot,
to be. It's meant to be
You-
the room that you're looking forward to being in. Like, that's meant to be the good room, and you just dreading it. Just being like, my bowel's still out right after the last lot of cream.
Yeah. You're probably begging for an explosion.
I'm all creamed out. Just fucking blow it up. Put it all in the bin.
Blow this motherfucker, end it now, please.
Explodes, and the only thing that happens is just cream goes everywhere.
Everybody
fire.
just starts clapping it.
Cats on the street below.
Wow.
It's fucking thick.
Man.
Cats just remember that day forever now. It's just
Yeah.
gone down in history. It's
Great
the milk
creamy
day.
day. Wow.
Where was I? Yeah, omelette. You can have an omelette. Bit of a relief, I suppose.
omelette.
But yeah, so one napkin. Why? So
Wait.
when you got on board of the Hindenburg, you were given a elegant envelope at the start of your journey. Within that envelope was your single linen napkin that you would use for the entire
Linen.
linen.
So it's not
napkin.
even like nice heavy cotton, high thread count, real absorbent soaker.
No.
You can see through it. You hold it up. You can still see the beautiful views out the window.
Yeah.
It's a picture. You know, it's a picture, guys.
It doesn't mop anything up.
No, it doesn't. Just pushes it around.
Just smudges it all.
Pushes it.
God.
So you get an envelope. You turn up, you get an envelope, and in there is this thing.
Single
This
linen napkin. Yeah. And the idea is that one should be refined enough to use it sparingly across a 3-day trip. You should be,
I feel like they're pushing that on you.
yeah, you should be of a certain elegance that you don't need.
Little dab in the corner.
Yeah.
Day
like-
one done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. Imagine day one. Also, like, you're dealing with a lot of cream.
So much cream.
Creamy venison sauce dripping all down your napkin day one. You got to live with that shit. 9 more meals. Let's fast forward a little to May the 3rd, 1937. The Hindenburg set off from Frankfurt on what would be its final journey. 36 passengers and 61 crew members on board. The airship was bound for Lakehurst, New Jersey, where a crowd of reporters, photographers, and excited onlookers awaited its arrival. Among those on board were wealthy travellers, families, and a mix of Hindenburg veterans and first-timers, each eager to experience the floating luxury of transatlantic travel. The journey promised not only the best views in Europe and North America, but as always, as we spoke about, a series of gourmet meals that made each day feel like a lavish event at an all-inclusive kind of restaurant and resort. So the voyage was not without its stress. Strong headwinds along the way slowed the Hindenburg down considerably, pushing it over 12 hours behind schedule. So
Wow.
we've set off from Frankfurt, we're heading to New Jersey. Very windy day. Storm Bert's here. It's fucking causing havoc.
Oh.
That's a long
12
time
hours.
to be delayed, though. I mean, if you got a flight nowadays and they were like, yeah, we're going to be in the sky 12 hours more than we planned.
Yeah.
You'd be a bit
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
what?
Yeah.
Half a day. It's not much.
It's half a day. We've got more cream-based meals.
we packed enough cream for a delay like this.
Be jumping off the thing.
I wonder if you flew close enough to like a tall building, you could just
Jump out.
jump off. But you're going 8 miles per hour, so
80
that's quite
miles an
difficult.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll roll on the building's roof and then off the other side of it.
Not James Bond. God.
So this delay added tension to the voyage as the ship's crew, kind of eager to make up time, had to balance speed and safety, as you would. Captain Max Pruss had all kinds of pressure on him. To add a little bit more spice into the mix, the Hindenburg was set to immediately make a return trip with a full roster of American aristocrats who were in a rush to attend George V's coronation in England.
Okay.
So you've got loads of people waiting in New Jersey, loads of Americans, rich, loud, annoying Americans.
Where the
waiting.
heck is this plane?
So they're waiting. They need to be on this ship because they've got George V's coronation. That's big, right? Big. Wow. Despite these challenges, the dining on the Hindenburg continue with its usual rhythm and elegance, offering the same lavish breakfast spreads, multi-course lunches and dinners that we've ran through. So during this final voyage, lunch was served as usual. The menu featured, like I said, soups, roasts, decadent desserts, and the usual kind of the menu. Bit of a tragic twist though. Many passengers had just sat down to enjoy their evening meal as the ship approached its landing in Lakehurst on the evening of May the 6th. Okay, May the 6th now, 1937. They've sat down to dinner, kind of early evening, and yeah, they're just coming into land. So as it's kind of coming in to its landing, the Hindenburg is surrounded by darkening skies, and a storm is definitely looming on the horizon. And if there's one thing you don't want to be doing in a storm, it's landing an airship with 200,000 cubic meters of extremely flammable hydrogen. Don't want to be doing
Not in a storm. Not in a storm.
America's quite known for being a stormy country, isn't it? It's got that kind of quite drastic weather condition sometimes.
Yeah, and Stormy Daniels, she's stormy.
Oh.
So you see, the Hindenburg has been in lightning storms before. It even been struck by lightning before on a journey to Brazil. Okay.
Squeaky bum time when that happens. You literally see it here and you're like, are we going to blow? Oh no, it's all right, guys. I wasn't worried.
You see, it isn't a problem. It isn't a problem when the ship is flying normally through the air to be struck by lightning and to be hit. It's fine. It's only a problem when you begin to expel hydrogen. And when do you expel hydrogen?
When you're trying to come
When
down
you're
a
coming
bit.
down.
When you're trying to land. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so they're letting out some of it so that the pressure's less and they can...
Exactly right. Exactly right. So as the crew prepared for landing, a young steward reportedly hurried through the dining room, collecting the fine silverware and dishes as part of the routine before the descent.
Let me have your napkins back. Hand your napkins. Come on. You don't get to take it home with you. Don't be silly. Come on, give it.
Give it to me.
Give it to me now. And suddenly, a dull pop sounded as hydrogen was vented to prepare for landing, and in a split second, a spark ignited the gas, setting the Hindenburg alight.
Where did this spark come from?
There's lots of theories.
Oh, so the whole thing went up in flames.
The whole thing. So just on that, we're not going to go into where the spark came from because there's, as you can imagine, a shitload of conspiracy theories. After the crash, after the explosion, a lot of Germans blamed a sabotage and like the Americans for it. There's a can of worms. It got, obviously. So within 15 seconds, flames had engulfed the airship.
Me cream. Me flame, fuck. It's that quick. It's that quick.
You're going to have to leave your napkin, you're going to have to leave the geese, and you're going to have to leave the ducklings and that cream.
It's all
you have to grab the cream on your way out. But,
bring the cream with you. Don't want to lose that. You've not had enough.
The fire was described on board as a mushroom-shaped flower. Mushroom-shaped flower of flame bursting into bloom in the front of the upper fin. So it starts very much at the top and it kind of just completely encases everything around it.
Be shitting it, wouldn't you?
It is an absolutely insane scene. Insane. Which Herb Morrison, a broadcaster of WLS Radio in Chicago, captured in his eyewitness account. So remember, waiting the airship to land, waiting for it to land, reporters, journalists, loads of people are sat on the runway or the landing strip, whatever it is, watching this thing come down. And
they were rubbing their hands together.
15 seconds, boom.
Yeah. That's
almost
clickbait.
like they knew it was going to explode.
Maybe. But it's also like a political thing as well, right? It's also like a spectacle to see this new form of travel. So we've got an incredible audio capture of this event, and it's by a bloke called Herb Morrison. And in a What the Food first, I'm going to share my screen to the boys, and we're going to share the audio. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear, or you will be able to hear. Miles will
just edit it.
The editing side of things. This is a live live capture of it and the audio. So at the airstrip for this And you might have actually heard this audio, a clip from this audio before. It's super famous. It's from a bloke called Herb Morrison. He was a broadcaster for WLS Radio in Chicago, and he captures this eyewitness account. And it's him witnessing this explosion, and because he's on the radio having to communicate what is happening to people.
Oh my God, he's having to like live kind of broadcast it.
Yeah, it's his live news. Exactly.
Oh my God,
and it's
crazy.
him dealing with the event and like him trying to recognize what is going on and what he's seeing. And yeah, anyway, so here we go.
It's starting to rain again. The rain had slacked up a little bit. The back motors of the ship are just holding it just enough to keep it from... It bursts into flames. Get it started. It's fighting and it's crashing. It's crashing terrible. Oh my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames and it's falling on the mooring mast and all the folks between it. This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's like 400 or 500 feet into the sky, and it's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the frame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers. I told you, I can't even talk to people. There's pressure on there. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. Honest, it just laying down massive smoking wreckage. And everybody can't hardly breathe and talk and screaming. Lady, I'm sorry. Honestly, I can hardly breathe. I'm going to step inside while I cannot see it. Johnny, that's terrible.
I feel bad for laughing now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'll take the last hour back.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
That footage is mental. It's such a massive, like, well-made thing in the sky, and then you see the entire thing go up within 15 seconds.
Yeah, gone that quick.
Just so
you can't
quick,
not
isn't it?
just be like flabbergasted by that and kind of shocked.
And it's like obliterated. It's not like it a little bit lands and it's fine. It's like the whole thing is just fucking gone.
Yeah.
And it's just flame. It's like pure flame. It's like just you're looking into the depths of hell in the sky, basically, for like a few minutes.
And you can hear, like, obviously that's in black and white. Imagine what it would have been like in real life with real colour and things like that. It would have been insane. Because it was dark as well. So, like,
I was going to say it would have lit it right up. Yeah.
And it's cloudy and stormy, so you've got that kind of like that background as well. That was powerful, that.
Yeah. Crazy. So when, kind of just to take it back a little bit, so when the Hindenburg burst into flames, passengers and crew in kind of the public areas on A deck, where like the dining room and the observatory is, they had mere seconds to act, essentially. Many seeing kind of fire consuming the balloon kind of bit on top, leapt out the windows. They just made that instinct kind of fight or flight decision. They were going to get the fuck out of there. They just jumped out of the windows. Luckily, it was landing and it was near the ground, so a lot of people were able to get out that way.
Some broken legs are better than being burnt to a crisp.
Alive, yeah.
And crazy looking at the footage and kind of how quickly it all blew up and how much carnage it looked. Survival was possible, and most of the passengers and all of the crew in the public rooms managed to escape.
It looks bad, but it's just gas burning off quick, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not like a sustained fire that just like proper catches anybody. It just kind of like burns off quick.
No, exactly.
Yeah, because like at the end of that video, when it was down, there was just a little bit of fire at the back.
Yeah.
And the rest of it had kind of already sorted itself out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, the people that are in the public rooms managed to escape. However, those were kind of deeper inside the ship, in the passenger cabins and kind of towards the center of the decks and the crew quarters along the keel, they found themselves trapped, and most of those perished in the flames.
Oh no. Okay. That's sad.
A member of the ground crew who was waiting for the ship to land and who obviously jumped into action to help told the Nottingham Evening Post that,
I thought everyone must have perished as the ship fell like a monster flaming torch. Then one survivor staggered from the wreckage, then another. A man crawled from a gondola and a woman leapt from a window. Then we knew there was hope, and we set to work getting out all the living and injured.
Wow. Because it's true, you would look at what we've just seen there with it all.
Yeah, you just think it's fucked.
Like, everyone's dead. Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be a sad one to clean up, but then there's people crawling out.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're hearing in that guy's voice, isn't it? That thought that everyone's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of his reaction.
John Pans, who was a New York manager for the Hamburg America line, which handled the Hindenburg's passenger reservations. He was dining. He was on board. He was dining in the dining room when the fire erupted. Ship's photographer, Carl Otto Clemens, who was also in the dining room, he fled the flames and he urged Paynes to jump from the window to safety. But John Payne's wife was not in the dining room with him. She had gone back to the cabin because I think she'd had a headache or something like that. Or
she had a creamy poo to let loose.
She had a creamy poo.
Come on, let's call it.
So he didn't follow the photographer out the window. Instead, he made the decision to return to the cabin to find his wife. Both lost their lives in the fire.
Okay, not a creamy poo. Well, very sad addition. Sorry.
No, I think she was actually going to get a coat. From what I heard.
Okay, she was cold.
The last thing she needed in that moment.
Yeah.
About to get a bit warm.
Yeah. The Donor family, which was Mr. and Mrs. Herman Donor and their 3 children, Irene, 16, Walter, 10, and Werner, 8, were also in the dining room watching the landing. Mr. Donor left the room shortly before the disaster struck to go back to the cabin. Unfortunately, as the flames took, Mrs. Donor fought to get her children to jump to safety because obviously none of them wanted to leave the ship without the full family there. Luckily, she was successful with getting her 2 youngest sons off the ship, pushing them out the window. But Irene, in an attempt to find her father, she unfortunately went back into the cabins. The 16-year-old daughter went back into the cabins and she perished alongside him within the fiery wreckage, fortunately.
Wow.
But the mum had a decision. She had to either follow her 2 sons out the window to safety or follow her 16-year-old daughter to find the father. She had to make this within 15 seconds, this decision.
What did she decide?
She jump out.
Jump with the sons. So those kind of rooms that we were describing at the beginning, those windowless bunk bed rooms, ended up becoming kind of little
coffins,
fire coffin traps,
basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Fire coffin traps.
Yeah. That was
horrible.
Was not great. Head chef Jabba Meyer, he survived. He was later seen unscathed, wandering through the wreckage and lighting a cigarette. There's actually a picture of it. So the wreckage is in the back. And you can see, you probably can't see in the
he's in his whites.
But
he's
in his whites and he's got a cigarette in his mouth.
Wow. God, what a badass guy.
So in the end, 62 out of the 97 people on board survived, which is pretty remarkable.
70%.
But the Hindenburg disaster marked the end of airship travel. Yeah. But the stories from the last voyage, the elegant meals, the camaraderie over fine wines, and kind of the sheer thrill of dining above the clouds remained a kind of a haunting reminder of a time when the skies were filled with both possibility and peril. Crazy. Absolutely crazy kind of end to this like once flourishing form of transport that people probably thought was like, this is
was going to be the future.
This is going to be the future.
Yeah. Like basically planes. But not, no, it's all
that
just
one
little spark
to kind of end it.
One spark.
No, definitely.
And when you think about it, it's mad, isn't it, really, that ended it? Because like 30 people died in
36.
Yeah, right. Think about how many people have died in plane crashes, and that's not written off planes. You know, there's thousands. I know that they're very safe to travel in, but still,
No,
I suppose they're not just inherently fucked, are they? Hydrogen is just, it's always going to be flammable, whereas like most plane crashes are somewhat avoidable usually.
Definitely.
I wonder if Elon will do some kind of electric Zeppelin and kind of bring that back. It kind of needs the gas though, doesn't it, for it to be...
Well, yeah.
You can achieve the same thing electrically.
Well, the other one was helium, but that's a finite resource on Earth, isn't it? Unlike hydrogen, which there's just shitloads of.
But in those few horrifying seconds, a dream of stately, luxurious air travel was reduced to ashes, taking with it 36 lives and forever changing the landscape of aviation.
Wow.
Fixed-wing aircraft would quickly dominate the skies, bringing a speed and efficiency that the leisurely Zeppelin could never match. I think that's also another reason why airplane travel has stayed despite there being loads of accidents. It's just efficient, isn't it? It's the most efficient way.
Economical, it's fast, it's cheaper than this. And
Exactly.
But you don't get the views.
Well, you get even better views, really. I think if you said to those people, would you rather have a 700... Like, to us, it sounds nice, right? Because we're used to the high up one. But if you said to them, would you like to go like higher than the highest mountain? And you can look down on the Alps and they look tiny. They'd probably be like, fuck yeah, I'd like that. But then because
guess,
we've
yeah.
got that, we're like, oh, I'd really like the closer up.
Want to go lower?
Yeah.
And if we want to go lower, just get in a helicopter.
There you are.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
It's there for you. Can't have a big fucking baby Bavarian geese on there, can you? On a helicopter.
On a helicopter.
Soup's going everywhere.
Yeah, you can't be having cream-based meals on a helicopter.
No, it's not got
With a
the
single napkin.
Yeah, nah. That's crazy.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But yeah, for that brief period, the Hindenburg soared as more than just a vessel. It was an airborne restaurant, a feat of engineering, and a stage for high society adventure. The stories of those meals, elegantly served on fine porcelain as the Atlantic swept by beneath, live on as a testament to the era's ambition, glamour, and daring. This was a time when dining above the clouds was not about convenience, but it was a spectacle, and every sip and bite came with a sense of wonder. So next time you crammed into that cramped airline seat, cradling your plastic cup of fucking Captain Morgan's and Coke. And you've just had your bit of bread that has been a bit of plastic that you've opened, and you've tried to spread butter, but the butter is fucking super hard, so you've just ended up with a clump of butter on your plastic wrapped bread.
Yeah. You've had a 4 a.m. Weatherspoons breakfast before you boarded the flight.
Yeah, pint of Guinness. You're watching Guardians of the Galaxy on the screen in front of you. Just remember the days where passengers dressed for dinner. Not everyone was in joggers and fucking noise-cancelling headphones. Crocs.
It's all gone wrong.
So yeah, that's the Hindenburg. Dining on the Hindenburg.
Wow.
Cream-based vessel.
There we have it. Wow.
Yeah.
That took us to some places.
I knew very little about this thing, and it was a joy to research. I feel like I've opened up all sorts of worlds that I didn't know existed.
Well, I hope it was a joy to listen to as well.
I hope so.
Know much. I didn't know much about it, and now I feel like I know a lot about it and its stingy napkin lifestyle. Or
And
lead,
that period of
should I say.
time and that kind of way of eating food as well is just so fascinating. Like, I just love that era.
Just the
And,
operation. The operation of like taking 2 tons of provision up on that floating vessel.
Yeah.
And then working within the small confines of a tiny kitchen with an electric stove. And you're pushing out fine dining as well. So it's not like you just...
No, they're not
it's like
flopping
you just-
it together.
No, exactly. It's not like pre-made as well. It's not like packaged airplane food where they
like
just
the
shove it in a
trays.
warmer. Yeah,
And they
exactly.
just pull
It's
the
like
tray out for you.
they're having to make a roux. They're having to make all these cream-based sauces and... I just said cream. We need a counter for how many times I said cream on this episode.
I know. Well, there you go. Feast before the fall, the grand dining experience on the Hindenburg. As Dom said, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did. We've had some giggles.
Giggles, haven't we?
Yeah.
We do have fun.
If you did enjoy that, please follow us on our socials. We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You can follow us there. We post short videos and bits and bobs. The best thing you can do if you're enjoying the show is to share it with a friend. It really does help if you can tell someone that you love or that you like or even that you hate.
Try and brighten their life up, you know? Just be like, I fucking hate you, but this might bring a bit of joy, and then you might be a nicer person.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
So yeah, feel free to share the podcast. That would, be much appreciated. And just a big thank you for sticking with us and for being here at the end of the show.
Yeah.
We will wrap it up here and see you soon for the next episode.
See you in a bit.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.